In today's episode of the Pathfunk Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Elliot Beckner, and he's heading over from the folks over at Orders. And at Orders, they help you to manage all your online orders in from one tablet. So, right, if we're talking about the way how restaurants are changing the way how they interact with their customers, there we have one way that I'm sure a lot of you people have been using in one or the other way. So probably many of you actually have been using the Orders templates in one way or the other. So let's talk about how they think about growth. So, Elliot, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. So maybe give people like a quick overview. What is Orders all about in your own words?
Ultimately, Orders is the goal for us is to be the one-stop online ordering tool for restaurants of any size. Currently, we're focused more so on small to mid-size since they seem to be left out by a lot of our competitors. But more or less, what we do is we are an aggregator. We collectively take all of your online ordering platforms, bring them into one easy, simple ordering list. So you can access everything from one place. You don't need 4 or 5 tablets, however many platforms you may be using. We also offer ordering websites that are commission free. So you can start doing more direct sales, not pay any commission on those orders, along with promotional tools. And then our suite also offers a full analytics reporting platform. So you can review your top selling items, optimize margins, all that kind of stuff, along with menu management and etc.
Very cool. Now, what would you say? You mentioned actually already the size of the organizations you work with. Like, what would you say is sort of a typical restaurant that works well for you guys? And is there like there's like chains, small chains, typically larger chains? You mentioned small, mid-size seems to be your sweet spot. Maybe tell us a bit about sort of a perfect fitting customer.
Right. So currently, the majority of our customers are either mom and pop single location businesses or what we would say small chains. So like 3 to 5 locations. Currently, our service is scalable. So whether they have virtual brands, ghost kitchens, multiple locations. So we do have a few larger customers that do all that sort of stuff, but we primarily focused on them mainly for the element of we saw a space in the market with these smaller chains that they sort of were being neglected a little bit. And we wanted to offer a tool more directly for them that was accessible, affordable, all of that.
Very good. Now, if we talk about sort of the individuals that are bringing in the technology, I mean, what we've been seeing on the show, specifically, restaurants, they're notoriously hard to win online. Like what have you been learning in the journey? What are channels that you guys are excited about?
Well, for the most part, we found specifically with our target demographics that word of mouth plays a big role. So testimonials, case studies, hearing from friends. Primarily, we learned this through our participation in trade shows, that if you can have another business vouch for you or speak on your behalf to a new lead, it multiplicatively increases their chance of signing up and passing through our new onboarding system. So that was one of the primary takeaways we found for us, along with just general brand awareness, that kind of thing.
And what would you say, what role does then the website play in the journey? Like if we talk about maybe the steps that they walk through, maybe tell us a bit about that, the different channels and then within that, the role of the page.
Well, specifically with small to mid-sized restaurants, they may be a little bit newer to this kind of technology. Again, a lot of our competitors from our research aren't really targeting these size businesses. They want the enterprises, 500 plus locations, etc. So there's a bit of there's what's the word I'm trying to use? There's a bit of like tutorial. You have to teach them sort of not only what our software does, but the benefits and why this really matters to them moving forward. And then kind of once they grasp that step, then you can sort of guide them down the road of choosing which plan is best for them, how to implement it, all this kind of things. So mainly with our website is we try to, similar to the software, keep it as simple as possible and show them what it does and what the direct benefit is to them. Boom, boom, 1, 2. And then through that, at least they're reaching out to schedule a demo and have more questions answered, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. And I particularly actually like that on your website, where I mean, a lot of websites can become in a way very abstract and quite not very clear of what it is actually they do. And you guys have a very simple how it works, 4-step description. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because it is very beautiful in its simplicity of what you're doing on there. Like, what have you learned when it comes to conversions in that industry? Like, what is important on the website, to be able to drive conversions?
Well, we always wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and we wanted to be as forthcoming as possible. We saw a lot of tech companies in general, especially in the SaaS industry, tend to just sell you the dream, and they don't really tell you how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And so being that we are a little bit of a newer company, we're still in the startup phase. We wanted to have open doors and explain to people black and white, this is the process, these are the steps, this is how it works, and we're here to help you on every part of the way. So rather than have some flashy Fortune 500 company style website, we need to build trust. And we felt the best way to do that was through transparency. Speaking about a website, constantly looking, there's always ways that we realize we can improve. This could be better. We're missing this kind of content. And that's kind of one of the other things is every so often going back, taking a look at what you have. How can we make this better? How can we improve this process? And trying different things as well. Don't be afraid to test out new theories. Would this imagery work better for this page and that kind of thing? Don't be afraid to switch it up every once in a while and try something different.
What have you learned when it comes to conversion goals? Because I would assume maybe the buyer is not necessarily used to sitting in a lot of like tech demos usually in their day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what have you found to be important, like when it comes to thinking about how to approach the conversion goal on the website?
For the most part, it really boiled down to trying to identify each specific customer's needs.
Mm-hmm.
So for one restaurant to another, this guy, this Joe's Pizza Shop on South Street, he might be making a lot of money off of delivery apps, and he's signed up for 9 million of them, and he really cares about app integration because he's hired 3, 4, 5 extra people just to manage that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Lucy's taco stand down the corner, she doesn't really get a lot of app orders, so she would prefer to have like a website that she can promote and market herself. So what we found helped conversion the most was when we do like online advertising and things of that nature, we actually have a lot of specific landing pages for each ad. So if you see a website oriented ad and that's what you're interested in and you click on that ad, it's going to take you to a landing page that breaks that down specifically for you. So it's just more direct placement of people to their interests, essentially, rather than blasting them with here's the laundry list of features that we offer, just getting them directly to what they're interested in looking at.
Very good. Makes a lot of sense. Now, as we slowly moving towards the end of the episode, we'll love to switch gears a little bit and talk about what you are up to on a daily basis. Tell us a little bit about it. What are the projects, the events, and things that you're working on a daily basis?
So we have our own podcast that we're just started up recently. Luckily for us, going out to a lot of shows, we meet a lot of people. So garnering guests for different companies that we can sort of talk about these industry trends in ways that are more accessible, I would say, to the smaller mom and pop sort of chain. So that's one thing we're working on. We continually go to a lot of shows, get our product and our service out there in front of as many eyes in different industries within the restaurant realm as we can. So scheduling those, working on all the banners, the imagery, all that kind of stuff. We handle that all in-house as well. So there's actually quite a lot of content creation that I take part in with our team here, as well as just orchestrating the general stuff, social media schedules, managing content, what sort of messaging we're going to have put out there, how we want the conversations to go, all that kind of stuff.
Very cool. I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
Beautiful. Let's go.
What is the last book that you read?
What the fuck was the name of it? The Sun Tzu book, The Art of War.
Yep, the 4. What is one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Primarily customer acquisition.
If there would be no boundaries in tech, you got a magic wand, what's the one single thing that you would fix for your role as a marketer?
Um, I know this is supposed to be fast. Um,
Can take a while. That's no worries. You can take a time to think.
there's so many things. How do I pick one? Probably just easier access of data for
Hmm.
decision making.
Hmm.
I mean, I realize there's tons of companies that do that, but as far as from like social media and advertising campaigns, and you need a different platform for so many things. If somebody wanted to aggregate all of that together, that'd be really nice.
If you could snap your finger and get basically a task that you have to do often and repetitively done for you or handed off your plate as a marketer, which task do you happily give away?
Um, designing content, like artistic content, to show backgrounds and stuff. There's too many people have to say yes on something like that before we spend the money. So
Makes
yeah.
sense. Very last question. If today would be your very first day joining orders, what's the one advice you would give yourself?
Do not be afraid to try new things. I feel like I personally learned that a little bit too late. This is my first startup, so
Mm.
having to create our own direction and set new goals and then rapidly change that as we learn and try new things. Realizing that a little sooner would have saved a lot of time.
And I really appreciate you took the time with us to be a guest on Pathmonk Presents. What would be the one single thing that people should remember if they forget all that we discussed about orders today?
As far as the restaurant industry goes, online ordering, delivery, it's massive. It's here to stay. We saw this over the course of COVID. People aren't going to stop being lazy, at least in the West, anytime soon. So if you have a local restaurant you know and love, and they're using delivery apps, whether it be our service or someone like them, like us, try to recommend they do something because it can save them a lot of time and money and stress in the long run.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmonk Presents.
Likewise.